Everyone, it's Cass. Welcome back to my channel, What Cass Read. Today I'm going to bring you a spoiler-free series review of the Rain Wild Chronicles written by Robin Hobb. The Rain Wild Chronicles are the fourth set of books within Robin Hobb's Realm of the Elderlings. It consists of 4 books, including Dragon Keeper, book number 1, Dragon Haven is book number 2, City of Dragons is book number 3, and Blood of Dragons is book number 4. So the Rain Wild Chronicles is located in the Rain Wilds predominantly, as you can tell from the title of the series. And that is a area of the world that's not within the Six Duchies, it's not a part of the Cursed Shores, it's this area in between the two where we find our Rain Wild traders. We learn about who the Rain Wild traders are within the Live Ship Traders trilogy. That's the second book series in the Realm of the Elderlings. So that's where we learn about what the Rain Wild traders are and a little bit about the Rain Wilds, different Rain Wild cities. We predominantly learn about Hobb, which is kind of the capital city among the Rain Wilders. But this book series, we really get to explore a little bit more. So by the end of the Live Ship Traders trilogy, the people of the Rain Wilds have been tasked with taking care of these serpents encasing themselves in a cocoon and then hatching these dragons. When the dragons hatch at the beginning of Dragon Keeper, they are not the beasts that everybody was expecting them to be. They are weakened. They are decrepit animals. They basically let everybody down. And the Rain Wild people are trying to figure out what they're supposed to do with these animals. They're trying to figure out how they're supposed to uphold their bargain to the Dragon Tintalia, and exactly what their role is with the caretaking of these dragons. So in the place of keeping them within Hobb, keeping them within the Rain Wild cities, they have decided to send the dragons and a small select group of dragon keepers to help take care of them up the Rain Wild River to find the lost mythical dragon city of Kelsingra. Their hope is that the dragons will be able to find Kelsingra, to be able to settle in Kelsingra, and then they will be free and rid of this dragon problem once and for all. You'll find Dragon Keeper is mostly where we meet these different dragon keepers, these young citizens of the Rain Wilds. We meet the dragon companions. We also meet a few Bingtown traders that harken us back to Bingtown and the variations between what it is to be a Bingtown trader versus what it is to be a Rain Wild trader. So we meet them in Dragon Keeper. Dragon Haven follows a lot of their journey up the Rain Wild River. Book number 3, rumors begin circulating down back the Rain Wild River, back into the predominant Rain Wild cities of what is happening among the dragons and their keepers. And there's some conflict with what people want to do about these rumors. Again, spoiler free, trying not to give too much away. And then Blood of Dragons concludes the whole series. I actually found this one to be my favorite of the whole series, even though I think I rated them all 4 out of 5 stars. But this one, I just felt like I got a lot of action out of it. It was a really great conclusion for the whole series. Even though I rated all of these 4 out of 5 stars, I think this one was my favorite. So the first thing that I want to talk about is the world building. Obviously, you're not going to pick up this book series unless you've already trudged through the first 3 series of this whole Realm of the Elderlings book series. By the time we get to Dragon Keeper, this is book number 10 out of a 16 book series. So there's a lot that you're not going to pick up if you just jump straight into this. So that's why the world building is a little bit unique, because there's so much of the world that we're already familiar with. We're already familiar with Bingtown. We've had just a little bit of a taste of Hobb and what it means to be a Rain Wild trader, but it takes it one step further because we actually get to spend a little bit more time learning how the other side lives within Hobb. We get to see how a family who is not a wealthy, predominant family within this community lives within the Rain Wilds. There are levels of wealth within this city of Hobb. The wealthier traders live at the base of the tree, and it's a more solid foundation for them to build their massive houses. But as you go farther up the tree, you're going to have a different set of societal rules, because there are families who are not as wealthy as these traders, just trying to make a living, eking out a living literally on the branches of trees. Their houses sway at the treetops. It's a very different environment at the tops of the trees. versus at the base of the tree. I thought that was really interesting. We have several new crews, which I'll get to in a little bit, but at the end of the Live Ship Traders trilogy, we were incorporating the tattooed freed slaves that we met within the Bingtown Rebellion, and they're settling in the Rain Wilds. And how is this new integration of people going along? We have the traditional Rain Wilders and what they believe a true Rain Wilder should be like, but then we also have these freed slaves and whether or not they're integrating society well. And then there's also the heavily marked Rain Wild youth. We knew from Malta's perspective within the Live Ship Traders that Rain Wilders in general are pretty heavily marked by the Rain Wilds, but just how that also comes into play in Rain Wild society. They typically don't wear veils in the Rain Wild society, but there are some children and some youth in the society that are so heavily marked that they are also ostracized because they're taking up resources that could go toward otherwise healthier Rain Wilders. So that was also really cool. The other side of this that we haven't really touched upon is finally within the Rain Wild Chronicles, we get to dive much deeper into the Elderling mythology and Elderling history, all of these things that we've been just eking out who these Elderlings are within the last 3 sets of books. The Rain Wild Chronicles really gives us a deep dive, a really in-depth look at what and who these Elderlings were. There's also a lot more dragon culture that we get inside this set of 4 books as well. The first 3 books, we had Tintalia, who was alone. We have Icefire from the Tawny Man trilogy, but how is a massive group of dragons getting along, and what sort of rules do these dragons adhere to? So there is a definite dragon culture. There is an Elderling culture that they're learning about. There's the Rain Wild culture that is competing as it incorporates new members into this society. And then we have the wealthy Bingtowners that are kind of off in their own little world, but still wanting a piece of the pie in the Rain Wilds. So as you can imagine, in these 4 books, we meet several new characters. And this is another set of books that Robin Hobb has written from the multi-person, third-person POV. So there are a lot of characters that we follow along with, and they're all extremely important in their own way. The primary Rain Wilder that we follow along with is Thymara. She is a young girl who grew up in Trehog with her father and her mother. And she is a young girl who has been heavily marked by the Rain Wilds. When she was born with claws. Her mother didn't want to keep her, but her father ended up keeping her, and it strained her relationship with her family. So she was searching for something new to take a part of, something to get herself out of her mother's way, but she has a really great relationship with her father, so that was really hard for her. But when they were looking for young keepers to accompany these dragons upriver to find this mythical city, she jumped at the chance because she wanted to just get out of underneath that shadow that she had been living in. Most of the young keepers are truly young. This, out of all the series of books, people say is something that reads a little bit closer to young adult, and I wouldn't quite agree with that, but what you're gonna get from this new set of characters is a set of teenage characters, and so all of the teenage troubles that follow them definitely follow them within these 4 books, but they're not the only perspectives that you meet, and there's a lot of gritty material that is very, very true and consistent to the rest of Robin Hobb's series that is not quite young adult, so that's why I wouldn't classify this as young adult. Then we also have Tats, who is one of the marked freed slaves. He grew up in Trehog as well, as a part of these newer influx of people into the Rain Wilds who are trying to integrate themselves into Rain Wild life, start anew. And he befriends Thymara from when they're very young. He is also looking for just his own adventure and to make his own way, because he is ostracized in this Rain Wild community because he is a freed slave and he doesn't quite feel that he belongs, but he has such a connection with Thymara that he also jumps at the chance to accompany these dragons. There's a lot more young Dragon Keeper characters that we follow along with, but we never quite read from their perspective. Another main one would potentially be Rapskull, but we never read from Rapskull's perspective, but Thymara interacts very heavily with Rapskull, and he ends up having a very important role to play as they start uncovering more of these Elderling myths. Then we also meet a few Bingtowners. There's Elise Finnbach, who is the wife of a wealthy Bingtown trader son. So her husband is Hest Finnbach. He's the next in line to take over the trading family, the trader name. Their marriage is one of convenience. Hest is a gay man and he keeps a secret within Bingtown society. He keeps the secret from his father, and his father wants an heir, so he is forced to marry. You kind of are a little bit heartbroken for Elise because she goes into this marriage not knowing all of the information. She just thinks she's getting this really great husband. She's moving up into the world and meeting someone who understands that she has different passions from the rest of the women because she wants to study elderlings. That is her primary goal in life, is to just study and be the foremost scholar on elderlings. And by marrying Hest, he promises her that she will be able to visit the Rain Wild, she'll be able to visit Trahog and be able to study the elderling lore from within the Rain Wilds. She is very quirky. She has a lot of doubts about herself. She has a lot of doubts about the marriage once things sort of unfold on her, and she starts realizing that it's not what it was supposed to be. It's not as fairy tale like. She's kind of resigned herself to the fact that hers is a marriage of convenience. It's not a marriage of love, and so she's just trying to make her own dreams come true, and that is by studying the elderlings. Her companion is a man named Cedric. It's also a friend of hers from childhood. She was friends with his sister and then friends with him by default. And he is also a Hest's secretary or Hest's valet, Hest's right man, but he is also Hest's lover, and they keep that secret from her. So Cedric goes along with her on the journey to the Rain Wilds to help her study elderlings. He has his own motivations. He's not willing to share with Elise his true reasons for taking upon this Rain Wild journey. Cedric's character arc was one of my favorite character arcs within the whole series because he really comes to grips with what it means to him, what his sexuality means to him, what a loving relationship can look like. He had a very great character arc. I loved him. We also meet Captain Leftrin, who is the captain of the live ship Tarman. Tarman is not the same kind of live ship that everybody is accustomed to at this point. It doesn't have a great ship head that has been awakened and has come to life. Tarman is a barge, but they believe him to be the very first live ship to have ever been created. So the fact that he is a live ship barge is something that Leftrin tries to keep under wraps. He does make a great living for himself as a bargeman on the Rain Wild River because Tarman can navigate through these acidic waters, and he has been hired as the barge captain to assist the keepers and assist the dragons up the Rain Wild River. He's also tasked with charting the river because no one has gone that far within the Rain Wild River before to get to this mythical city of Kalsingra. And he also has his own motivations aboard the Tarman and for his crew, for himself. He is also a really great character to follow along with. I just loved this new perspective of a live ship captain. I'm so used to the live ship captains that we get from the Live Ship Traders trilogy, so this was a really cool new look at what live ships could also be like. Not necessarily a ship, but I just liked having some kind of captain and crew, and I just loved having that back in my life within this book series. And then some other characters that we find along the way. We also are reunited with Malta, Rain, and Selden. Yes, these are 3 characters that we meet from the Live Ship Traders. They are all grown up now. There's certain aspects aspects of their life where I'm just like, oh Lord, you are not a child anymore, Selden. You are a man speaking with a manly voice. And yeah, it was really fun to be reunited with them. We did get a sneak peek of Selden and some of the other books in the Tawny Man trilogy, but this is the first time that we are reunited with Malta and Rain, and what their life has been like since they got married. And then, of course, there are the dragon characters. So Tintalia is back. We get different perspectives from Tintalia. As much as we are familiar with Tintalia and getting a few perspectives from Tintalia, the main dragon that we follow along with is Centaura. And Centaura is the dragon pair to Thymara. Each of the dragons have a different keeper. So from her perspective, we get the dragon culture. We get more conversation with the various dragons that we have along the way. Centaura is just like Tintalia in the fact that she is a very vain creature. Understanding that dragons are vain creatures is a big part of this book, and then just learning more about what it means for this dragon culture, but also what they think about themselves as they hatched and they were not these magnificent beasts that they were expecting to be, but they have the memories of dragons of old, they have the memories of elderlings of old, and so we follow along with that through Centaura's perspective. So there's just a lot that you can uncover within this whole 4 set of books. It actually moves quite slowly for a set of 4 books, but understanding that it's a part of the bigger picture of the realm of the elderlings, I'm actually going to be very intrigued to see how these 4 books end up relating to the final chapter of books, which is going to be the Fitz and the Fool trilogy. So once again, you're going to pick up this book series if you're already super invested into the realm of the Elderling series. You're already going to pick up this book series if you're already like knee deep into the world of Robb and Hobb and just wanting to uncover more of the Elderling culture, uncovering more of the Rain Wild culture, uncovering more of the dragon culture, because that's really what we're going to get involved with. And then of course the conflicts that Robb and Hobb just does such a really great job with creating, just the inner workings of all these different characters, all of their different motivations and how they clash and how they can come together. It's a masterpiece overall. I did rate all of these books 4 out of 5 stars. As a series as a whole, I would give it a 3 out of 5 stars in terms of its place within the whole realm of the Elderlings. And I only say this because I'm still curious to see about how it's all going to come back and how it's all going to relate to one another, because at this point I just don't know. As much as I love getting this kind of information and being back in this world that I love so much, how slowly it moves, I feel like within 2 books we could have been 1 book. Like, that's how slowly she moves, and that's just her style, and I really love it and I really appreciate it. But for the whole 4 set of books, not a lot happened until maybe the last book. I don't know how you could edit stuff out, because I felt like all of the character information that you're getting is so important, so it's just really hard to kind of rate all of that onto the Fitz and the Fool trilogy. But yeah, follow me on my social media if you want. I'm on Instagram and Twitter. It's at whatcassread, same as this channel. Super easy to find. My Goodreads link is down below, as well as my new book club, the Big Ass Book Club. That information can be found below as well. And of course, you know how these videos end. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Running down to the riptide, taking away to the dark side.